Hmm. Cool. So let's discuss positioning, right? Now, think of it in this way, right? And I posted about this on LinkedIn also. Positioning is basically there is a market which you can think of as a plane, right? There are different there's like a plane surface here, right? And now that's what your market is. Now that you can think of, there's an x-axis, y-axis, and which represents people's preferences. Now, the audience will have different preferences, so they will be in different places in the market. For example, someone might want something, let- let's say, might want an agency that is really good at design, or someone may prefer someone to have a lot of some other factor or something. So based on that, based on the different factors that they like, the people are placed in different places in the market. Are you following till here? Like the audience, there are like every company that you want to sell to has a lot of different people in the different companies have different preferences. Based on that, they're placed in different places in the market. Now, now us as, let's say, an agency or someone who wants to sell to this market, we need to figure out where do we stand. So if we say that, oh, we are going to be a very, very expensive agency, but we will have the best customer support ever, and we will have this and that, the best, this is what we want. So that is you positioning yourself with what people like in the market. So you are deciding where in the market do you stand, versus you can decide that, no, you know what, we want to be we don't want to come, we don't want to look at price, we want to look at these other 3 4 factors, and then based on that we want to sort of place ourselves here. So positioning is not a marketing exercise. Just let's be very, very clear. Positioning is not marketing. It never was marketing. It's never going to be marketing. Positioning is a pure business. It's one of the most strategic business decisions that you take. Any questions here? Till here? Thoughts?
Yeah, I do have a question. So you say positioning is not a marketing function,
No,
but it is often considered the responsibility of marketing, is it not?
it should not be.
Okay.
It's a stupid thing to do. If marketing was positioning, it's horribly, horribly stupid thing to do.
Okay. And can you give me an example of like why it could go wrong?
Sure. So let's say that how do you win in a market, right? I'll come to that, then I'll answer your question. Okay. So how do you do good? What is good positioning? I'll answer that. Then I'll get to why marketing cannot alone do good positioning. Also, by the way, brand is not built by marketing. That's going to be another interesting thing, right? So when you do good positioning, what is that? You are there in the market, but so are all of your competitors. Now, a great way to look at, okay, where do you place yourself or how do you attract most people or most audience to you, is to place yourself where the highest density of audience is. For example, if a lot of people prefer similar things, there's a higher density in the plane. You can think of that as a hill in the plane. Or if there's some other place where lower people are there, that's be a very small bump there, right? It's not evenly distributed. So wherever there is higher density of audiences, if you place yourself there, and there were no competitors, you will get the most number of customers. True? Tell here. Did you understand
Yes,
this?
yes, obviously. Makes sense. Yes.
Everyone else? Cool. So now that's how. Now what happens is your competitors come into the picture. Now they also want to place themselves in the same place. What that means is if there are multiple companies standing in exactly the same place in the market, that market density gets divided between them. We'll not get into which ratio, but it gets divided between the folks, which means you have higher competition in some places and lower competition in some places. So even though there might be a huge hill of audience in one place, you might want to go somewhere else where there is lower competition, right? Now that is what positioning is. Also, positioning, you might be able to win on, let's say, and now let's come to the competition part. Like, in which ratio do you get the deals when you place yourself somewhere? If you place yourself, let's say, in a place and there are three other competitors standing almost in the same place as you, what happens is you may not be as good. Let's say they want social proof, or they want something, right? And you say, I have a lot of social proof. What if another agency has even more social proof than you? Now, in that market, when you position them yourself as someone who has done a lot of it, and someone comes in with much more of that, and that is what that market wants, you start losing those deals, right? So you really have to pick what your strengths are as an agency, and you have to place yourself there, and you have to align with the audience. So that's what good positioning looks like.
Right. Okay. Makes sense.
Okay?
And is it possible that marketing can come up with this data through research and internal and external interviews?
Can marketing do it? Yes. Can others do it? Yes. Can, but most importantly, so the three teams that have most data for this, apart from external consultants, would be your like Sangram calls them growth, the GTM teams, which is your customer success, your sales, and your marketing. So you need these three teams input, and also a lot of customers audience survey data to figure out, okay, what are the needs in the market. Those are your four sources of information. Okay, so your marketing, sales, customer success, because these are three customer facing roles. And also you need help from let's say you have to do research on your audience itself, which means everyone who never spoke with your company. So you're doing research on people who've never spoken with you, so that you get another set of information also. And then obviously you can read research papers and all of that, but I'm not a big fan of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good.
Cool. So that's your information sources. Everyone clear till now on what is positioning? I'll answer now why marketing is not a good, like, I'll tell you who should own it. Any doubts, please
Also,
ask.
like an
Yeah.
example, right? Also, like
Mhm.
an example with the landing page. Let's give like an example with the landing page. How what we do. When you say positioning, is it like only about content or it's like the whole
Sure.
structure and
I think
everything?
that answering should marketing own it or who should own it will answer this question. So, for example, how do you position yourself, right? Let's say I want to position myself as I have the most social proof. Can you say it if you don't have it? I mean, you need the social proof to say you have the most social proof.
See, in today's market, there are sellers who can give you free video reviews on Fiverr.
I mean that. I mean that again. That's not
It's a question
marketing.
of integrity as well.
I mean, I mean, like, take a different example, right? For example, can you say, like, we have the best demand gen framework in the entire market? Now, marketing cannot say that, because that was something that's a true thing that you have to build. You really have to have the best thing to say you have the best thing, right? Like, because I mean, to
Yes.
say things, you need to have it to build. So it's basically you're building things or building features in your company to
Right.
position yourself. But it's not just building random features and picking out a few of them. It's more of that, okay, I want to position, it's very intentional, it should be intentional. I want to place myself here in the market. So I need these features to place myself here. So I will
Hmm.
now build them. Once I've built those things, now marketing can say it. So uh, there's a research phase, there's an actual capability building phase, and then there is a promotion phase, or like actually like saying that's where you are phase.
Hmm.
So that's how positioning works.
Hmm.
Marketing can maybe help in stage one, maybe in stage three, but not in stage two, which is the most important one,
Okay.
right? And
Okay.
the most time consuming is actually being good for a certain market. So who should own it? The CEO should own it. Like, hands down. Everyone has like, oh no, this should like No, dude. Like you need to coordinate between the product team, sales team, marketing team, customer success teams, and I don't even know what I left out. Right? So it's just stupid that anyone apart from the CEO is doing it. And I have a very strong opinion on this.
Hmm.
Positioning should be owned by the CEO. Someone and CEOs, you should understand the market. If they don't, they're a bad CEO. Again, very strong opinion on. One second. Yeah. Yeah. So, any doubts still here?
Uh,
No.
I'm okay. I'm okay. Like, is it possible for the one of the co-founders to understand the positioning as well? Because it is possible that the a unique positioning might also come from a strength in technology. In that case, the CTO could be the main person who brings in that idea of positioning, right? And the CEO could also be someone who like basically drives that idea forward and builds it into a product and builds a company around it.
I'll tell you why not the CTO. Okay. Let's take an HR software because everyone here has worked with some or the other HR software, I think, or understands that. Let's say I'm the best coder in the world, and I say that I have built the product so well that the load management and all of that is done so well. The code is so well optimized, so beautifully written that we can ship new things every like much faster. Like any of our competitors will take twice as long to ship a new product, and also our load times are like literally 3 milliseconds, or like is every load time is less than 20 millisecond. Impressive.
Yes, yes.
What if a different company says we are the simplest HR software? Which will you use? Right? So your audience does not care about how many milliseconds it takes to load something in or how long it takes you to ship a product. If your audience does not care about it, I'm not saying don't build it. I'm just saying I mean, that's not that useful in positioning. You shouldn't like add random stuff to it just because it's also good. You have to focus on a few things which will help you position yourself.
Right, right, right.
Right?
Okay, okay.
So
So is it where you like is it where you go like according to the needs of the customer?
according to see, it's a decision, it's a conscious decision you're taking on who you want to be your customer.
Okay.
So um, for example, spear growth, right?
Mm-hmm.
How performance marketing is differentiated for us is that we like everyone else, for example, a different agency can say that, hey, if you want an all-in-one agency, and I'm talking about just ads right now. For ads, what we can say is that if you want to go an agency that you can go to one person and they'll do everything in marketing for you, we are not that agency.
Okay.
Now, if you want to say that, oh, you want someone else, this and that, you can. There's a lot of different things, right? There's another agency that says that, oh, you can call us at any time in the night and all of that. We'll be available. We don't have a life outside SaaS. That's another agency that's their position that they've chosen. We're not that agency.
Right.
What we do is we've worked with great companies.
Mm-hmm.
We go really beyond everything, and we've every piece of marketing we've sort of re-asked things, rethink like how do you build a customer list, how do you optimize everything, and we have case studies show that every piece of the way will reduce CAC, will increase performance. Every single piece of the way, when you work with us, we can show you examples of how you can scale things beyond the basics. Our basics will be impeccable, but every time we add something advanced, you see like a 5-10% increase in conversions, and that's going to really give you things. Now, who cares about stuff like this in ads? People who really want to scale,
Right.
right? And then we also say that, okay, we are focused on B2B SaaS only.
Yeah.
So people who really want high amount of expertise, we can say things like, oh, you speak directly with the person actually doing the work. You don't have to speak with an account manager.
Right.
Because our ICP is people who don't like having an account manager who's like a support person essentially, who's
Mm-hmm.
managing between a lot of different things. Smooth
Right.
talking. No, they want the person who's working, they want to speak with the marketer. Great, we'll build that. So if you look at all the features we have, they're not something that marketing could have done. They are things that has to be owned by someone who's structuring the company. And that's how you position yourself. You cannot, like, otherwise you just, like, I mean, you could, and most companies do it. It's just horrible to try and do positioning without, like, when only marketing is working. It's just stupid. It's just like, I'm not even going to hold back. It is stupid if marketing is owning positioning and no one else is working on it, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
cool. Any doubts? Very passionate about this. No. Cool. So we've done our positioning for ads. Now, after we built, it took us 3 months to build all the capabilities. We've sort of been training our team and all of that to actually be different in performance marketing before we repositioned or before we started talking about it. Marketing only talks about the positioning, it does not do the positioning. Marketing may, or the data, the research, when you do it, says that these are the things we should highlight. And then once that has been picked, after that, marketing comes in and sort of, it also say in that committee, there's a committee that decides what things should be highlighted. That committee should be run by the CEO. Once that is being done, it should be given to marketing and said that, hey, these are the things based on all this market research that marketing may also have been part of. We realize this is what we need to highlight. Now, this who uses positioning or who should use positioning? Every customer facing team. Marketing uses it to talk. Sales uses it to sell. Customer support should use it while talking to customers and redoing these things, right? If you say something, you have to actually do it, right? And that also relates very closely to brand. I'll not get deep into it, but basically branding is not done by marketing either. So brand is not built by marketing. Brand is built by the product team or whoever is doing the work. Marketing only accelerates how fast the brand is built. The CEO of High Radius told us this, and it blew my mind. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, he's right. Like, you can fake a brand only for so long, right? After that, your real brand is your reputation. Reputation is built on reality. Reality is built by the product team. The product team is what's building the reputation. Marketing is only accelerating it. So, is that bit clear?
That's actually very organized. I love it.
Yeah.
So it's related. Positioning, branding, it's sort of related. Now, given these things, now I talk about the maybe the SEO project, right? And what we're doing. So the thing is, we actually have great positioning in the market already. We just have to retake another look at it and figure out how to communicate it, because we work with a lot of clients. There is no agency that I've ever heard of that can get results as fast as we do. Our content sprint, the speed to SQLs is insane. Like, no one has heard of it. It's just unheard of. Like, just, you don't hear it. Our business model is completely unique. Everyone is selling on a retainer and all of that. So I'll tell you. So now, when you're doing positioning, right, there are two ways you can do it, and you really have to understand the depth of the entire thing to understand how to do positioning. For example, when we're doing ads, right, it becomes okay, spear growth. So first thing that you have to do is you have to get in the buying committee. There's a group of people trying to take a decision. The day all of them agree that okay, let's go with this, that's when the purchase is made. So your positioning needs to get approved by everyone in the buying committee, which is your POC, the marketing team, often the finance team, sometimes the sales team also in our case, right? So these for us, because we sell to marketing. So this is our buying committee. So understand your buying committee and your positioning needs to now be communicated in a way that seems the right choice to everyone so that they all say that, yes, let's do it. Understood? So that's the purpose that you're trying to solve.
Okay.
Questions? Right. Now, positioning happens in marketing. Positioning also happens in sales, and I'll explain that part now. Because you're all marketers. Positioning in marketing, you've already understood in the market, all of that, all of this and that. I'll now positioning in sales. What that looks like is, let's say, when making a decision from a market that we sell to, our market is is it has a lot of competition. There's a lot of agencies that do ads. There's a lot of agencies that do SEO. Yes, it's been around for years, right? Decades. Now, in a market like ads, our positioning is the fact that we objectively can show you how we do things, how we go beyond just the basics, right? Which means when you're looking at, and we can call everything our competitors do table stakes. So again, if you look at, and the reason why we do that is because if you look at our sales deck, you'll see that we know what our competitors do, and it's called table stakes in our deck. That hey, everything that they are saying is good is actually just table stakes, and this is what really will drive results and beyond what you need. That's our positioning. So that when
Okay. So just one question here.
yeah,
Uh, how do you define, like, to clarify the meaning of the word table stakes here? It's like odd. Sorry. Is it like it's something very, very ordinary?
I mean that's like what how I say it is. This is like any half decent agency should be doing this. I say this in my sales calls. Any half decent agency should be doing these things, and obviously we do them too. So I've taken a very aggressive approach for our ads positioning in sales, right? That anything that our competitors say they do, we say "Ki that's any half decent agency should be doing. What you really need is someone who does much more than that, and we are that agency that does much more. And then I give exact examples in which showing that exactly how much CAC is reduced by this, how much volume is increased by this. When we do this, and this, I just like go and say that okay, this is stuff that no other agency can do. And now, if no other agency can reduce your CAC by 50-60% and increase your SQL volume by 20-30%, like obviously you'll work with us. That's my pitch. Fair? Make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
Now, SEO ke liye, that's not how we'll do it. The reason being, I'll talk about the sales positioning of SEO that we have. Now, there's a marketing positioning and sales. I'll explain that thing. Now, the sales positioning is again, it's like a subset of positioning and how it works. Is where are they seeing? Where are you in the mind? But it's think of it as having 5 decks open, right? Or there's a buying committee, and then there is a consideration set of companies that they're picking from. Oh, these are 5 companies we want to pick from. Marketing's job is to get you in the consideration set. The day you are in the consideration set, it's the primary responsibilities of sales to make you win that, right? So let's talk about how the positioning affects us after you get into the consideration set. Everyone following like what I'm talking about? Otherwise, I'll re-explain this part.
Yeah.
Please re-explain.
Okay. You do a lot of marketing awareness, whatever you want to do, demand gen, demand capture, whatever you do. Then there is a buyer who says that, oh, let me schedule a demo, or there's a buyer who says, hey, let me schedule a call, or let me respect for a demo, whatever. Right? They do that for, let's say, 10 companies. After they do it for 10 companies, let's say they say, okay, I want to choose between these 4. These 4 are the top.
Yeah.
Those 4, I'm calling that these 4 are in the consideration set. That I am considering to purchase from these 4 companies.
Right.
That till here, I believe the primary responsibility is of marketing. In the middle, marketing and sales both play a big role. But as a marketer, I would say sales people would disagree. But till here, I think marketing should take the lead. The day you get into the consideration set, right? And then again, so positioning helps a lot in this, right? So positioning plays a different role before this. Before this, your positioning needs to help you get in the consideration set more easily, and it needs to by helping you target the right people and saying the right things to them, having the right value proposition. Now, after you get in the consideration set, what you are doing is you are trying to win amongst the top folks. Now, in the case of performance marketing, in our case, the top agencies are all pretty good. So we basically said everything they do and they say they're good at is table stakes, right? So that's sort of helps us get that they are saying everything that others are doing is table stakes, they must be better. That's your internal in the buying committee positioning, right? They are saying everything else is doing. But SEO, that's not the case. SEO में क्या होता है? Our in SEO, our positioning is so different. It is just so different that it's like, okay, should we work with Spear Growth or should we work with a different company? So we are basically, we are not even an agency. We are not even a similar entity to what the other companies that you're talking to. We are a different entity. Our business model is different. Our deliverables are different. The scope of work is different. You cannot compare us with anything else. So this actually helps us, and it also stops us. It helps us because one, and that helps us get more results. That was the reason we did it. But the way it helps us is that okay, it becomes peer group or others. As soon as you are taking only one company name and calling everyone as others, it puts you in a better position. If you win, so all we have to sell is the business model. We don't even have to sell we are better than anyone else or we can get more results. We have to sell that this model of working is better than that model of working. The day we sell that, we win because now in the sales positioning, we are the only one who do that. Everyone else is sitting in a different plane. So now we have to convince the committee to come towards us versus there. If they go there, we lose the deal and then they fight amongst each other. If we are able to bring them here, there is no competition. It's only us. Understood?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, the major challenge in performance marketing, which is a normal positioning, is that how do you showcase that you are actually good and why your differentiation matters more than other people's difference and all of that. The challenge in SEO is education. How do you very quickly, without overwhelming people, and then also when it's shared without you being there, make it very easy for everyone to understand that, oh, this is what you do and why is this good? Whether you're there or not. And that is very challenging because when you have a new business model, which is not normal at all, and then let's say you speak with a marketing manager and then he pitches to three other people in their company, it goes for a toss. Because you may do a good job at pitching, but they will do a horrible job at it for sure. Which means we need to figure out how do we do this positioning, and that's what we'll be doing in the project, in the SEO repositioning project. We'll be figuring out, it will be much more educational, our positioning, than everything else. And our education is going to be that, hey, this is how you have to prove that our style of working is better than a normal agency style of working. So we work in projects, we don't have retainers and all of that. We focus on that bit and how fast we can get results versus others get results later, we get results faster. Good enough. I think that one statement, done. You spend more with others, you spend less with us. Right? You get results, you spend less. Like, it's just very simple repositioning. Your team actually knows how to do it. That could be another one. Right? So that's the project. This, I think I'll just stop recording here unless anyone has questions. Does anyone have questions?
Just one thing.
Yeah.
How did you find this information? Like from the internet or like
No, this is my understanding of positioning. I made this.
the whole market of SEO? You just have to understand yourself.
Okay, how did I understand how SEO is working and all? I've taken 500 plus sales calls, man. So
Okay.
and I've spoken with even more folks, and I've had at least 5,000 conversations with SaaS companies. So I mean, the volume of information that founders and CFOs, CEOs have, that's why I keep saying that positioning should be owned by CEOs is because I just have a much higher volume of information than anyone else can have in the company. Because any information you have, you'll tell me, and now I have it. And then any information someone else has will tell me, and now I have it. So I'm the only one with complete information. So the CEO should own it. That's the only reason, right? And also, for example, I today I've read like 5 reports on SaaS trends. Helps understand where the market is going. I've spoken with VCs and all of that. It helps understand, okay, how people are thinking, how much budget do they have, where are the companies going. So that information is very hard for a marketing team to have all for everyone. I'm
Okay.
not saying it's impossible. It's just hard, unlikely. Any questions? No? Cool. We'll stop the recording and we'll publish this on YouTube. If you're watching this in YouTube, please subscribe.
Yes.
Amrita is showing.
Yeah.